Mastermind groups are not only for the wealthy. And if you don't have a mastermind group, or you're not part of a mastermind group, or maybe you don't even know what is a mastermind group, now's the best time to get started. What's up, working people? It's the Working Man Money Mark, sharing my 2 cents, and hopefully it makes sense. So, I know it's been a minute since I did a video, but this is a very important topic. It's something that I have wanted to do for a very, very long time. And I started my very own mastermind group this year. And I want to share with you the concept of the mastermind group, especially if you're a working person and you're trying to advance in your career, or you're an investor, or you're a business owner. The mastermind group is a powerful principle, and I want to share with you how I came upon and how most people come upon this subject. So in this book, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill breaks down the concept of the mastermind group. And if you haven't read this book, you need to get this book, okay? I used to read this at least once a year for many, many years. I stopped for a while and I just revisited this last year. I reread it, and it's interesting. Every book is kind of like this, but you always pick up something new, you know, the more you read something. So if you're not familiar with the concept, let me just explain to you what Napoleon Hill writes in Think and Grow Rich. The mastermind may be defined as coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. So Napoleon Hill came upon this idea from Andrew Carnegie, and Andrew Carnegie was the founder of U.S. Steel. And most of you know who the story of Andrew Carnegie is, and his relationship with Rockefeller and all the supposed robber barons of that time. Now, this concept of the mastermind group could be anything. It could be a prayer group, it could be a community group. The idea is that our brains are like transponders. We are all connected in some way or the other. And the organization of a group of individuals focused on the same idea is extremely powerful towards the attainment of any particular goal. Now, you may ask yourself, I don't really have a goal to work towards. Okay, fine. But if you're the type of person, let's say you're like me and you're in the construction industry, you're going to find that most of the guys you encounter are, you know, hate to put it this way, but they're just NPCs, right? They're just, you know, talking about the same old stuff and not really interested in much other than the game and basic things, right? Fine, you know, I'm not saying you can't be involved in that stuff, but there are some amongst us that are deep thinkers, okay? And these are the people that are not just doing their day job. They may have a side business. They may be involved in other groups on the side, possibly even a think tank, okay? I know my local union has a think tank. So what is the purpose of this mastermind group? Well, it could be a lot of things. I can say that for myself. I started a mastermind group of guys that I encountered in my business, in the building trades. But these aren't just regular construction workers. Several of these guys have left and moved on to start their own businesses. Some even in other industries. Several of these individuals are also investors. They're very deep thinkers. They also have knowledge in all kinds of things. Local politics. One of them is an artist. The other is very deep into spirituality. And you know, the list goes on and on and on. But one thing that they all have in common is they're all thinkers. And I organized this group of individuals around that singular concept. They're all deep thinkers. and they all have a very interesting perspective to add to any topic. Now, as far as the topics of discussion, I based my mastermind group on Benjamin Franklin's Junto, or Junto in Spanish, which means together. And the reason I did that was because Benjamin Franklin, number one, is my favorite historical figure. And number two, a lot of people give credit to Benjamin Franklin for starting probably one of the first mastermind groups or known mastermind groups in our country. And that mastermind group that he had went on for 30 plus years. Okay, they started meeting every Friday at a local tavern, and eventually they went on to meet at different homes of the members. And this carried on even when Benjamin Franklin was doing his diplomatic responsibility when he was abroad in France. So, which is really interesting, because that means that those guys saw the benefit in that. Now, obviously, a lot of these people were involved during the American Revolution, okay? And that was the big focal point at that time. I believe that the time that we're in right now has a lot of similarities to that time. I'm not going to go too deep into that topic. You can come up, with your own conclusions about that. However, I will say, and I've said this in other videos, that we are in very turbulent times. We are in a critical time, and I think it's very, very important that we surround ourselves with like-minded individuals, so not only that we can position ourselves defensively from any potential pitfalls, whether they be economic or otherwise, but also to have an offensive position and be able to take advantage of opportunities that may be coming up. And the best way to do that is to organize yourself with a group of individuals or your peers that are deep thinkers. Because as you structure your meeting and you pick a topic to debate, everyone's going to have a different perspective, and everyone's going to have their own insight, and they may have a breakthrough that is profound, that can be incredibly valuable to everyone in that group. It could be an investment decision. It could be all kinds of things. We talk about geopolitical issues, okay, and how they may impact us, how they may impact our families. So these are just some ideas. Now, I will also add that the members of my mastermind group, okay, I know that they find this valuable because first they've told me that they find it valuable, but also they're committed to it. So so they see the inherent value in this. And so let's say, for instance, that you want to start your own group, okay? And you may have to do this because most mastermind groups, like I'm a real estate investor, and I can tell you right now, the mastermind groups that I've been invited into, some of them are $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 plus annual memberships to some of these groups. And that's just not feasible for working people. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't take advantage of this. So I implore you, if you're a blue collar person and you want to get ahead, you're interested in investing, you're interested in geopolitical issues, you're interested in spirituality, maybe you're part of a church group. Why don't you start another group? Start your own group, okay? And you can define for yourself what you want those parameters to be. Maybe you want that group to just be all men. Maybe you want it to be just all women. Whatever the case may be, start the group. Because there are important things going on in this world right now. There are important conversations that we need to be having. And we need to have those conversations with people that are deep thinkers, people that are visionaries, and people that not only want to empower themselves, but empower others and have impact in this world. If that was valuable to you, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. It costs you nothing and it helps me out tremendously. And lastly, the wise working man is anyone that's on the path towards financial freedom while simultaneously becoming the best versions of themselves. Take care, everybody.